Hello, welcome to this week's Level 1 class. We've been in news this week, things are changing. So I'm not going to do this class from now on. Dalton's going to take it over along with the Level 2 class. Now he's teaching some of the Pilates classes back in the clinic midweek. So I'm going to keep the Express class. Dalton will be doing Level 1 and Level 2 for next week. And Lauren will be doing the equipment class. So it'll be a slight little change. Everything will still be as usual, 4 classes a week, but just the instructors will change. So this will be the last Level 1 with me. We'll get started. Onto the hands and knees. We're going to work the core quite hard today. So we're going to have the hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips. Tuck the elbows in, tuck the toes underneath the feet. Lift the knees up off the mat, hovering the knees. And then rest back down. Good. Pinch the shoulder blades together. Lift the knees up. And lower back down. 2 more. Lift the knees. And lower. One last one. Lift the knees up. Hold the knees there. Lift the left foot. And the right. And the left. And the right. And the left. Right. Left. Right. Left. And right. And rest the knees down. Walk forward to the top of your mat. We're going to come into a plank. So again, elbows tucked in. Lift the knees up. And big steps. Walk the toes all the way back to the end of the mat. Hips tucked underneath the body, squeezing the glutes. Elbows tucked in, shoulder blades together. And make sure the chin is tucked in as well, so it's not drop down to the mat. Squeeze the abs. Lift the left foot and down. Lift the right foot and down. Lift the left hand. Down. Right hand. Down. Walk the knees forward and rest them down onto the mat. We're going to walk back down the mat again. We're going to bring the left leg back behind the body. Right arm up in front. And circles with the heel in the hand. And change directions. And bring the arms and legs down. Right leg back, left arm up in front. Circles, keep the hips and shoulders still. Keep that right elbow tucked in. And change directions. And bring the arms and legs down onto the mat. We'll turn over onto our back now. So that's our warm up done. Rest the head onto the block. Hands by the side. And we're going to start with some glute bridges. So roll the hips back. Lift the hips up and then back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one last one, 10. And rest down. Bring the right knee into the chest, hands by the side. Lift the hips and lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one last one, 10. And back down. Left leg to the chest. Same thing, make sure this knee doesn't go straight to the ceiling. It wants to come aiming up to end up over your head. 1, it won't end up there, but that's the direction it wants to go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, nice smooth movements. 8, 9, one last one, 10, and rest back down. Bring the heels and toes together. We're going to drop the knees out to the side, so a big 30-degree angle at the hips. We're going to imprint the spine, lift the hips and lower. 1, 2, 3. So exaggerate that imprint, arch the back on the way down, imprint the spine, rib cage comes down, lift the hips. 4, 5. So the glutes externally rotate the legs. Point the knees to the side. They extend the hips, lifting the pelvis up. So in this position, you should really feel the glutes contracting at the end. Feeling those muscle fibers squeeze together. And we're just challenging a slight different range. Remember we did the pulses up high on the side, we worked the inner range. This is a different way of working the inner range. We get the deep gluteal muscles, the external rotators like the piriformis working, and we get the glutes fibers contracting. Good, and one last one. Perfect. And then rest back down. Next, we're going to do some toe taps, get the abs working, and then we're going to get into our abs workout for today. Imprint the spine, legs to tabletop, tap the toes off the mat, squeezing the ribs down. Nice soft taps. Good. And you can tap at the heels instead of the toes, tapping further and further away. One last one. Legs to tabletop and rest the feet down. Next we're going to go for a set of hundreds. We're going to keep the feet on the mat. We're going to try and work the upper abs a little bit more. So we're going to focus on really trying to roll the upper body up a little bit higher. It's just an extra inch. It doesn't have to be too high. We want to try and get the tip of the shoulder blades, the bottom of them, up off the mat. So we don't just want to get the shoulders up to here. We want to roll it a little bit higher, like that. So hands by the side, imprint the spine. Keep the knees directly above the hips and the feet about 6 to 8 inches apart. Hands by the side, reach the hands to the bottom of the mat. Tuck the chin in, rib cage comes down, roll the head and shoulders up and beat the hands 2, 4, 5, breathe out, 2, 4, 5 and in, 2, 4, 5 and out, 2, 4, 5 and in, 2, 4, 5 and out, 2, 4, 5 and in, 2, 4, 5 out, 2, 4, 5 in, 2, 5 and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway there, keep the chest up nice and tall, breathe out, and in, 2, 4, 5, breathe out, 2, 4, 5 and in, 2, 4, 5, out, 2, 4, 5, 2 more, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, last breath in, and out, 2, 4, 5, rest the head and rest the shoulders down. We're going to do a little bit for the lower abs next. We're going to alternate back and forth between upper and lower abs today. Hands by the side, we're going to do our flutter kicks. We're going to imprint the spine, bring the legs to tabletop, straighten the legs to the ceiling, and focusing on that imprint, rib cages down, smooth breaths in and out, kicking the legs back and forward. Good. Nice controlled movement. Slow the kicks down. The faster we kick, the less work on the abs it is. The more we slow it down, the more we should really focus on an imprint. Squeezing it back to the mat, squeezing the abs. And then bend the knees, bring the feet down, and then rest the abs, relax the imprint. Next one, we're going to go for a second set of hundreds. We're going to bring the legs to tabletop. So imprint the spine, hands by the side, knees up over the hips. Reach the hands to the bottom of the mat, head and shoulders up and beat the hands 2, 4, 5, breathe out 2, 4, 5 and in 2, 4, 5, out 2, 4, 5 in 2, 4, 5, out 2, 4, 5 in 2, 4, 5, out 2, 5 in 2, 4, 5, out 2, 4, 5 in 2, 4, 5, out 2, 4, 5 in 2, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 more breaths, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 more breaths, out 2, 3, 4, 5, last breath in, and out 2, 4, 5. Rest the head down and bring the feet down onto the mat. Hands by the side, we're going to come back to the lower abs, we're going to straighten the legs to the ceiling, and we're going to drop the 2 legs down at the same time. So again, imprint the spine, legs to tabletop, straighten the legs, squeeze the abs, lower the heels 2 to 3 inches, and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, squeeze that imprint as you lower the legs. 8, 9, one last one. 10, bend the knees and bring the feet onto the mat. We're going to try some roll-ups next. So straighten the legs down onto the mat. Hands back behind the head. Imprint the spine as best you can. Arms forward, chin to the chest. Roll up nice and tall. And back down. Keep the shoulder blades together. 1, 2, 3. And control on the way down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, chest forward. 9, one last one. Nice and controlled. 10, keeping the legs down. Nice and slow, rolling back down onto the mat. Keep the shoulder blades pinched together. And then rest down. Good. Bend the knees. Hands back by the side. Next step we're going to do, we're going to bring the right hand to the outside of the right ankle, left hand to the inside of the right knee, and straighten the left leg. So imprint the spine, tuck the chin in, head and shoulders up, legs are in tabletop. Right hand to the outside of the right ankle, left hand to the inside of the right knee, straighten the left leg, and switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bend the knees, rest the head, and bring the feet down onto the mat. Next, we're going to do some more roll-ups. This time we're going to reach up towards the ceiling. So straighten the legs down onto the mat. Hands back behind the head again. Imprint the spine. Arms forward, chin to the chest. And roll up, reaching up. 1. And control back down. Good. 2. And back down. It's nice and slow on the way down. And we'll have that smooth, consistent movement. 3, 4, 5, halfway, 6, 7, 3 more. Keep the shoulder blades together. 8, last 2. 9, back down, one last one. 10, and back down onto the mat, and the rest. Bend the knees again. Next what I'm going to do is elbows to the knees, straighten the legs, and elbows apart. So I'm going to focus on the imprint all the time, and try to keep the knees in nice and tight. So as you bring the knees to the chest, don't let them flare to the sides. Keep the knees in as close to each other as you can. After this then, we're going to do a little bit of work for the lower traps. We're going to come into a little more work for there. Imprint the spine. Bring the legs to tabletop. 2 hands to the side of the head. Chin to the chest. Elbows to the knees. Straighten the legs, elbows apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bend the knees, elbows down, and feet down onto the mat. So we're going to do some roll-ups into boat pose, and then we're going to start to work the lower traps from boat pose after that. So imprint the spine, legs to tabletop, hands back behind the head, arms forward, chin to the chest, rolling up, chest is forward, and back down. 1, 2, keep the knees together and heels hovering, 3, 4, 5, chest forward at the end, arms parallel to the floor, halfway there, 6, 7, 8, 9, one last one, 10. And back down onto the mat and rest down. So next you're going to do a bow pose. There's a little option with these. I said we're going to work the lower traps. We will with that, but you can challenge the abs a little bit more and take the pressure off the lower traps. So we're going to talk about this as we get back up into bow pose. Imprint the spine, bring the legs to tabletop, hands back behind the head, arms forward, chin to the chest again, roll up into bow pose. Now you have the option of bringing the hands back behind the body if you want to work the lower traps more, and I'll show you one or two from here. So we're going to start by just extending left knee, right knee. Keep the knees in line with each other. To make this a little harder, hover the heels. What I want to try to get you to do today is to reach in front and then extend the right, extend the left. Right knee, left knee. Push the ribs forward. Good. Keeping the body as straight as you can. Arms parallel to the floor. And elbows shoulder blades pinch back, elbows pinch back. Shoulder blades pinch back. Good. And then rest the feet down. You can bring the hands back and rest. So we're going to try to work the abs a little bit more, holding ourselves as straight as we can and try to take some pressure away from lower traps. We're going to come onto our stomach in a few minutes and really work the traps. But at the moment, let's try to work the abs a little bit more, and if not, let's work the traps that way. So if you can, hands in front. If not, hands back behind the body, pinching the shoulder blades. Next, we're going to extend and bend both knees and try not to let the heels touch the ground. And again, if you can get the arms in front, let's go for it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bend the knees, rest the feet, and rest the hands down if you had them in front. Next, we're going to lift the feet up again in that bow pose position with the heels hovering. We're going to extend one leg, lift and lower 10 times, and repeat on the opposite side. So I'll start with the right leg. I'm going to lift the heels up, arms reaching in front, chest is forward, extend the right leg, lower and lift. 1, 2, push the ribs forward. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Don't rest, switch to the left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees, rest the hands, rest the heels down. Next one, we want to go for little circles. 5 clockwise, 5 anti-clockwise on each leg. So again, if you have the hands back, pinch the shoulder blades, chest comes forward. If not, bring the arms in front. So we're going to lift the 2 heels up. I'm going to go for the arms in front. Straighten the right leg, lower it halfway. 10 circles. 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch directions. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch legs. Left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch directions. 2, 3, 4, 5. And rest down. Good. Last one we're going to do. I'm going to keep the hands back for this one because I really want to get you to sit back now and work the traps because we're going to start coming into these. So I want you to bring the hands back nice and wide on the mat. Pinch the shoulder blades. Chest comes forward. We're going to lift the heels. We're going to keep the heels off the mat for the whole of this one. Straighten the legs, lower and lift. 1, 2. If you can't do this, bend the knees at the bottom. So lower, bend, extend. Lower, bend, extend. but if you can, keep the knees straight. Good. 3 more. 2. Last one, and bend, and rest down. Good. Turn over onto the stomach now. So you can get rid of the head block. 2 hands on top, 1 under. Rest the head on the back of the hands. Imprint the spine. Pinch the shoulder blades. Lift the chest and lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And rest back down. We're going to change the hand position today for the leg ones. We're going to bring the hands back by the side. We're going to have the palms facing down to start. We're going to twist the thumbs out and up. Move myself over sideways a little bit. We're going to twist the thumbs out and up. Lift the chest and lower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hands as high as you can. 5, and as close together behind your back as you can. 7, 8, 9, 10, and then rest down. We're going to start to bring the legs into it now after this. So we're going to hold ourselves up in that top position with the hands as high as you can and as close together behind your back as you can, with the thumbs pointing up to the ceiling. So hands by the side, reach them to the bottom of the mat, twist the thumbs out and up, lift the chest up, lift the 2 legs and lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep the hands up. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And rest back down. Good. Next one, we're going to lift the legs up. Little flutter kicks in opposite directions. What you notice is the hands want to sink back down. Keep reaching up as high as you can and twist the thumbs out and up to the ceiling. So pull the shoulder blades together. So again, hands by the side, lift the hands, twist the thumbs out and up, lift the 2 legs up, little kicks up and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And rest back down. Good. Last one we're going to do is something like this. We're going to lift the legs up, we're going to bring the heels apart and together, and apart and together. Again, holding that position with the chest up nice and high. So hands by the side, twist the thumbs out and up, lift the chest, lift the legs, heels to the edge of the mat, and back in. 1, 2, 3, chin is tucked in. 4, 5, keep those hands up. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And rest back down. 2 hands on top of each other. Bend the knees and rest the head in the back of the hands. Imprint the spine. Lift the left leg and lower. And the right. And the left. And the right. And the left. And the right. And the left. Right. Left. Right. One last one each side. And last one. Good. Pinch the shoulder blades together. Lift the head and hands up. Lift the left leg. And then the right. And the left. And the right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. And rest back down onto the mat. Good. We're going to turn over onto our back now, and we're going to do some stretches. So rest the head onto the head block, straighten the left leg down, hug the right knee into the chest nice and tight, and keep the heel hidden behind your right knee. Good, and then bring the right knee across the body. Keep the right hip on the mat so stretching the glutes. Bring the right hand out to the side and pull the knee across the body now. Aim to get the right knee down onto the mat. Good, and then bring the right leg back across the body. So we're stretching the hip joints here to start. Bring the knee straight in towards the chest. Keeping the joint itself moving as smoothly as possible in a straight up and down movement. As the joints are a little tight, the knee will flare out to the side. There's a little bit more space for it. So we want to keep this joint as free as possible and as loose as possible in this position. It makes us really efficient. And when the legs come up and down, they come in a straight line. They start coming off to the side, they're going extra distance, they're wasting energy. And it also means when you push down, you're pushing at an angle before you go straight down. So if you're cycling your bike, you don't generate as much force as when you're going straight up and down. Bring the knee across the body now, keeping that left hip on the mat. So stretching the left glutes here, the biggest muscle around the hip joint. Good. Bring the left hand out to the side and bring that left knee all the way down as close as you can towards the mat. You can hold on to the wall, you can hold on to something to give you that anchor point of the left shoulder. And as you breathe out, let that knee sink closer to the mat. As you breathe in, hold it there. And as you breathe out, get a little bit closer to the mat every time. Opening up the facet joints, stretching out the pecs on the left side. Good, and then come back towards the middle. We're going to stretch out the front of the hip joint now. So we're going to come onto our side. We're going to grab the front of the left ankle with the left hand. Stretch the leg back behind the body. So we're getting one of the quads muscles, your rectus femoris here. It's one of your hip flexors, so we're going to focus on it, the big thick one, and then we're going to get into the smaller one next. So whenever your hips are tight, your lumbar spine will compensate. And what we're trying to do is loosen up the hips as much as we can. They tend to be a joint that gets tight rather than loose, so we're trying to loosen it up so it'll take the pressure away from the lumbar spine because it'll compensate. And they're joints that tend to be loose or extra loose rather than getting stiff. So a lot of times you find the lumbar spine is overly loose to compensate for a stiff hip or a stiff thoracic spine where all the ribs come in. So when you look at the body, you tend to have kind of very lax muscles in and around the neck. You can tend to get a lot of stiffness in and around the next part of the spine, the thoracic spine. The next level down tends to be a little bit loose, the lumbar spine. And then the next level of joints down to the hip tends to be a little bit tight. So you get this alternation, we'll switch to the other side. You get this alternating stiffness and tightness as we move up and down the body. And it's because one joint will compensate for its neighbour, either in trying to create stability or in trying to create flexibility. So what we're trying to do in our Pilates classes is create more stability around the joints that tend to be loose and create more flexibility around the joints that tend to be tight. Balancing that out so we don't have a compensation at one joint and a stiffness or a weakness in another joint. So imprint the spine as you do this, stretch, keep the spine as flat as you can and stretching the leg back behind the body. Perfect. Last one, we're going to stretch our hip flexors. So we're going to come onto our knee, one foot in front. We're going to tuck the hips underneath the body, my head disappears at this point. And we slide the hips forward, so not very far, but keep that imprint, keep the back as flat as you can, and imagine shifting the hips straight forward, and you should feel a stretch coming in your thigh here. If you don't feel a stretch, either one, you're quite flexible, or two, what's happening is you're arching your back. So think about squeezing the abs, squeezing the glutes, leveling the pelvis out, almost think about trying to slump a little bit, and then just slide the body forward from the hips. Good. And then switch sides. Last stretch. So again, tuck the hips underneath the body, slide the hips forward. So imagine a force is coming from behind the pelvis, pushing the whole body forward, and you're squeezing the abs, you're leveling that pelvis out so the back stays flat. Make sure the back doesn't arch. You really don't want to feel a natural arch in your back. You want to have the spine in your lumbar spine as flat as you can. And then push those hips forward. So imagine everything's just sliding forward from the pelvis. Don't arch forward from the chest, so the pelvis slides forward. Perfect. And then come back. We're going to finish with that for today. As I said, I won't be doing this class next week. I hope you enjoyed my classes. Dalton's going to take over, do things a little bit different, add a bit of variety, and I hope you enjoy that. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.